Excuse me. Okay, good day, guys. 4 o'clock. We can get started. Just doing a quick reprisal review of the earlier trade. Slightly negative, but at least it's a bit better than it was earlier on way of looking, I suppose. But like a lot of people say, hang on, I'm not sure about this trade or whatever. Naturally, the ups and downs can get on you, do your head in, to be honest. Yeah, I get that, Hardy. But I think just give it a chance. I know it's when you see the thing going against it, it does grind. It does great. Get that. But let's just give it a chance. The 200 day is holding. Let's have a look at the smaller, shorter term chart. Yeah, it's popped up a bit, but it's trying to. So maybe it'll come right. Hopefully, keep fingers crossed. I still think the trade idea was good. You can see the reason behind it for the range there, the top of the range, against quite a strong currency that heads to sell. So maybe it'll come right and see what happens. So just keep your fingers crossed on that one. It's better than it was. It's only a few pips for negative, so not a train smash. The other one that was sent out today, gold, did quite nicely. It's come off a bit because the dollar strengthened a bit. The dollar strengthened a little bit. Whether it be sustained is another story. Came off quite a bit the last few hours. Well, since Friday, to be honest. And then, it's just bounced up a little bit the last 2-3 hours. See if it sustains or whatever. It comes off again, expect the gold to go up. So at least it's in a profit. We said 1920, so we can't complain too much. It'd be nice if it shot up to 1930. I get that. At least it's in a bit of a profit. So fairly even, Stephen. As normal, we'll see 430 opening. With the what you call it, the price of the yields going down a little bit, and the dollar strengthening a little bit, we might get a little bounce to the Nasdaq, but I'm not sure how much. It could. I thought one stage where the dollar's weak might get back to 12 grand, 12,000 before it actually comes off again. But we'll see. It might not get that far, but it might a little bit of a bounce, just a little shorter term before it starts coming back off. It just can't seem to get going on the upside, so maybe we won't get that going. And if it does come back off, which clearly we hope it will for our trade ideas, then the theory should come off. Unfortunately, I added Google, but the others still going. Microsoft did well. GS, which is Goldman Sachs, has done well, and the others sort of were in profit, slightly negative. Let's see how they work out. Okay, let's just take it from there. Okay, it was just a quick recap. Let's say the dollar's back above 102 on 2.15. So yeah, the Euro AUD one, sorry about that, guys, did not work out at all. The time it looked like a good, we all agreed with it. Can't sort of throw daggers at each other. It happened the wrong one, so Euro AUD. Can't start throwing stones at each other, but at the time it didn't seem too bad. It was above there earlier on today, and we thought it might have a move back up. Well, the case it didn't. I think it might have hit the stop at we're not one yet. I think I got the wrong figures down here. 55.20, that's correct. 55.20. Yeah, it was the stop loss. It looks like you got the 55.14 earlier on. Bit of a pity. So it looks like that didn't work out too well. Okay, anyway, so there it is. All right. Yeah. So I've reviewed those two. A couple of people with the Euro CAD, I wasn't so keen. So I stayed out of it, but didn't say that it got very much a trade. It was a sell 1.4546. It might have worked. That's back to where it started from. It's been hovering a bit. I'll put the one there. Seth's not with us at the moment. It's his idea. A couple of guys might have gone with it. But anyway, it's just back up to there. I wasn't so keen, to be honest. So I stayed out on that, but anyway, took it. It's about even Stevens as we speak. Okay, the other stuff I think we're out of at the moment, either TP or it's topped out in a profit, so that's not too bad. Just a couple of shares which we'll be looking at after 5:30 to see how they go. On that subject, remember in 20 minutes or 25 minutes time, the share market's opening. So anybody want to look at any CFDs at the moment? Our F-stop was doing okay, nearly 12. It's popped up a bit, but still in the profit, and it's come off again. GS is good. So Apple was okay, popped up a bit. Amazon was okay, popped up. Meta was okay, and it popped up. We're all short, remember? So we'll just have a check later on, see how they go. We might Netflix, be a little bit careful, looking if you can get a confirmation of a higher sell, but they've had another, what was it? I figure some 7 million subscribers. George, it last month or somebody, I don't know. Anyway, a lot, I can't remember exact figures. 7 million or 700,000. Anyway, a large amount. It might be 700,000. I don't know. 7 million seems a lot. Yeah, maybe 700,000 added to it, which made it a little bit stronger, because obviously more subscription better, and has indicated that gap opening there. Will it continue or not? We shall have to see. Just mention that, but not a trade idea. Just mentioning it out there to you guys. Tesla. I think it's getting to the stage where we might be looking, if that NAS can come off a bit, decent price to set it back down again. We'll keep an eye on Tesla as well. Okay, just bearing that in mind. Let's write that down. What's 7 million? See, I thought it was 7 million. I thought, sounds a hell of a lot. Mind you, when you think this actually country would be, well, 2,000 million people on the planet, 8,000 million people on the planet, of which 2,000 million have cell phones. So, 7 million, you think of the population of Europe and Japan, and Japan, I suppose, as well, but Europe and certainly United States, together with a lot of other English-speaking areas, Australia, New Zealand, why not? So, yeah, 7 million, that's very possible. Seemed a lot of the time. But no, come to think of it, with so many people on the planet, another 7 million going there, it's not bad. When you work it out, I think it's about $11. I'm not with them anymore. I get my stuff, my kicks from elsewhere, should we say. But if you're doing, let's call it $10, not 11, $10, and 7 million more, you multiply 10, that's $700 million a month. $700 million a month. It's over, what's that? It's about 11, what's it, 11 billion rand a month extra flowing into the coffers. So 10, 11, that's pretty cheap. Risk to you and me. When you get these kind of numbers, you study realize the kind of money that's flowing into it. So that's the last, an extra $700 million a month flowing. Put in perspective, that's not so bad, eh? In fact, $11 is a bit more than that. It's probably near 8, 9, nearly $1 billion a month, actually. It's gone up a bit. So, yeah, interesting, hey? Yeah. These figures are so phenomenal. It just baffles the mind, it boggles the mind, rather. Yeah, so there we are. So next time we think it's only 50 rand a month, if you've got 100 million subscribers, that's a lot of money flowing in. Like Spotify, it's only $60 a month. Fabulous product, incredibly cheap, less than the price of a CD, and you get all the music you want. Save the whole works, and brilliant, brilliant product. Only 60 rand a month, but I think they've got some. They've got some phenomenal amount, a couple 100 million or more. So it puts in perspective the wonders of the internet age, the tech age. Okay, so yeah, probably hovering around a bit. I don't know if you guys got anything to look at in the meantime. I haven't, to be honest. It's been a little bit sort of iffy today, but it has been the last few days actually. It's been for a while actually, a bit iffy. Couldn't find much follow through. I saw a few potentials, but there was either no man's land, wait. I'm still keen. Some guys took a short now, a bit nervous to sell it. It came off a bit. Was this one here? I'm nervous to sell the Swiss franc. It came off a bit. But I'm keeping a strong eye on this. If it breaks above the 200 moving average, I might look to, well, probably will look to buy it. And if it comes back a bit to maybe 140 or something like that, it's a long way away from here, 150, 160 pips away, I might. But I'm a bit loath to short it. And as it probably proved, because it went off and then came back up again, as you can see. Came off and then just bounced straight back up again. It's a bit loath to do that. I think I'm going to have back at this 200. Even the guys who short it, good luck to them, maybe a couple of bucks. But then, I don't know, it seems to be popping up now. I'm going to stick with my morning say-so, a revision or strategy rather, and said rather wait for a breakout for a suggestion of a trade or a pullback, but I want a decent pullback. Okay, so that's the only one. The pound is a bit strange at the moment. So we hang 5 on that. So the other stuff really at the moment is reprise the stocks. I haven't got anything else. I want to sell that. I remember at 1.9, and 1 or 2 guys went for it. Mark can't join, business to do, but Mark Shearer, that is, and said he'd be joined a bit later on the WhatsApp. And he took it. And I was a bit worried about selling it. It's not a bit of confirmation of the dollar, and it has popped up a bit. But then I think well, not to something else. I missed it. For a sell, I'm still a bit wary at this stage. I want to sell it, but I just thought I'd make I don't know, I didn't anyway. Bottom line, I waited. But a couple of people went in for it anyway, and they're doing all right. But those, the 3 I looked at for a sell was AUD, the least of my 3 choices, and the pound and the euro first of my choices. And I thought I'd just wait a bit or whatever, and I think somebody else cropped up. So to be honest, maybe I'm waffling a bit because deep down, I'm trying to be honest with you, I think I might have missed out on that. But there it is. Anyway, I'm not sure I'm going to be chasing it now. But the dollar is strengthening a bit, to be fair. So at least on the good news, we might get a pullback on the NAS, so we can get some downside on our shares, okay? And there are going to be times you don't miss the trade, but it comes under your observation. You think, well, hang on for it. And it doesn't get a better price and you miss it. It's always going to happen from this thing. Okay, there's not really much more I can add. If there's any Q&As, I'm pleased to join and make it a, remember it's a forum, it's a good session. Anything on your mind, anything on, yeah, remember, be open. We're all friends amongst us here. We're all kicking the same goalpost. I'm not trying to catch anybody out. But I can't say I've got anything specific brilliant on my mind at the moment, other than the stuff I've just been saying. You know, just like maybe a bit of halt on the hour, maybe a bit of bounce there. But yeah, I just what about this dollar? I think it's a bit of a bounce and overall weaker market. Just give me a bit of worry. I might be missing out on this anyway. Remember I mentioned this morning, interest rates likely to be 25 basis next Wednesday, another 25 has been priced in for March. So, which is away from the 75 we've had in the past, you know. So they're slowing it down a bit. Chinese New Year holiday for the entire week. It's not like the USA won't be closed down for a week, but it was. That'd be a big, incredible difference. China has its effect, but nothing like that. Yeah. So just to make you aware. But otherwise, I can't really think of it. Some guy went to the Euro JPY, I think, I don't know what they did there, bought it or something. AUD JPY, a couple of guys were keen on it. I think they bought that as well, which seems to be sort of a bit sideways. I wouldn't say keen. AUD CAD, that was a bit iffy. I thought they're both pretty good. Again, a bit sort of up and downish. The daily, look at it. Not really much follow through either direction. So nothing's really standing out for me at the moment. Brent's recovered a bit. Thought it might come off before it recovered. It looks like it might be taking this area out here. It looks like a possibility. I think I'm not sure I want to chase it right at the moment, see how it pans out. But if we can hold this 50-day going into tomorrow, we might have a trade in our hands if we get a decent risk reward. But I'm a bit wary at the moment. I just think if it gets too high, they'll step up open up the taps, you know, step up the production, etc. So I'm a bit iffy on it, but possibly might get another one. But we'll look tomorrow. I'm looking to sell all of them at the right price, to be honest, Pietro. Looking to sell all of them. I just think we might still, if this, I agree the dollar's gone up. We all got that posted again just now, but is it going to be sustained? It still could get a bit of a bounce before it comes off. I'm just a bit wary, to be honest. You can probably gather that. I'm not really sort of convinced. Just copy this. Convinced that the dollar's going to maintain the strength for the moment. I said, I think it was last week, it could be a recovery to 103, but I think it's going to be maybe a slide back. I think see 100 as the target possibility, but around about that range is 100, 103-ish area until we get some more news coming in. So I think so, probably. And remember, when you're dealing with this, I'll tell you what I mean. To get a deal with this, you need a stop up there. So already we're talking about 15 US dollars. What's that, about 250 rand, maybe slightly less, 240, something like that, off the top of my head, for 1 micro. So you need in your account, I would say, well, at least 3 grand. Otherwise, you're looking at a 10% or whatever risk, which I suppose you could push it a bit for 10%, but it's still quite high. So just bear that in mind. I mean, yeah. If you had about 20, 30 grand in your account or more, guys, you could probably maybe say, I'm going to preempt this. I see some downside with a wide stop. But then you're looking for 1 micro, you'd be looking at this sort of level here. That's 25 US, which is 250, 375, about 400 rand off the top of my head again. A micro, which starts to, you know, it gets into a bit hectic for 1 micro risk. Just bear that in mind, okay? Always bear that in mind when you're doing something. Well, you guys probably do now because you're regular attendees. Some of you guys are getting that. But a lot of people are still battling with the maths and getting it. In fact, the majority are battling to get the maths on it, which is a worry. Yeah, I don't blame you. Just put up the economic calendar again for you. I'll look at if you like. Yeah. Someone's having a tough time, eh? Probably saw their trading red. Just mute for the moment. It's quieting down, sorry. Okay, so yeah. Can't say I've got any bright here. We've got my iron euro dollar, as I mentioned, the GBP dollar and the Aussie dollar. I might have missed the boat. We can get a better price. We might want another bash. I might have missed the boat. We'll see. But I'm just a bit wary today of trying that, see what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow, have we got much tomorrow? German manufacturing's coming out tomorrow. What else? Euro, yeah, German manufacturing, bit of pounds coming in, a couple coming out, so we'll see. Sorry. I think this guy's chickening out. Clucking, yeah. I said, what about going long on this one? And he said, bugger that, I'm chickening out. Oh, was that you, Eugene? Yeah. It sounded great. It sounded really like the real thing. Very, very good, that. I could have sworn it was a real chicken. That's incredible. The spirit animal. Yeah, so in other words, we've got the year of the rabbit in Chinese, and we got the year of the chicken in the New Year. Anyway, I'm talking too much rubbish now. I better move on. Yeah. Coyote's chicken, yeah. Probably saw Coyote being hungry, eh? Talking, yeah, he hadn't had his supper yet, so chicken's getting a bit nervy. Yeah, so there is. I'm sorry, I've muted the poor old chicken now. Hope he's not being physically muted as well. Shame. Right, okay, so let's get back on track. Back on track on what? Not quite sure. We'll something to go now. Yeah, that must have it. The dollar still continues to rise. So yeah, I'm trying to have a bit of a laugh. It has rising a bit, so it might be a bit of a pullback in gold. Just see if that dollar can weaken a bit. Anyway, we'll have to see. That's all if and buts flying around at the moment. But yeah, otherwise, talking about chicken, a little bit chicken at the moment, going to be any new, unless you can spot something. And that I've missed, that'd be great. So then we can look at it. Yeah, so NZD CHF may become right. It's still about 8 pips in the negative, but it might come right. Okay, where are we now? Just coming about 10 minutes to go, and then we can look at what's happening in the share market. All right, that's me after 20 minutes, finished whatever I'm going to say. Nothing more exciting than that. What a boring Monday afternoon. Eh? Sorry about that, but chill. Hey, well, I've got on full. Anybody else having problems hearing me? That's the same with the German and the rest of it. I wouldn't be jumping in now. They tend to follow the overseas ones, American ones. If anyone's having problems with me, yeah, go on full mic for 100%. And I'm talking through, you see the monitor is actually TV, so it's slightly louder. So it should be clear in theory. Good. So you can hear me all right. No, I'm not sure. If you're in the FTSE, I still see downside, but I think I'll leave it alone for an entry. Listen, ultra patience here. Well, it's only a day. Can you imagine doing long-term equity, eh? Hang on those for years sometimes. Sorry, guys, but I'm stuck. So it's up to you if you want to ask me a question, suggest anything. Everyone says how to get the calculator, how do you set the charts up, where do you get the margin from, anything like that. What are those funny lines? I don't mind spending some time. Look at pivot points. I think if you like, you don't, not something you don't know about. If you already know, I don't want to bore you, but I can't think of anything. Yeah, you hear the chicken in me now, I think. Come on, Sephora. Have you got a nice tiger idea? Never mind the chicken, a nice tiger idea. I'll just a quick look at that. I think most people know it takes 2 seconds to stop the share. How do you get the pivot points? Quite simple. Just give me a second. Okay, just going to swap over Can you still see it? This is investing.com. Can you see it there? It should say trade and see the $50 bonus. Can you see that? Aha, thank you. Excellent. Okay, right, good to see you. Good. Well, it's quite simple. Pick something. What should we pick on? NZD-CHF or they've mentioned the Eurodollar. What the hell? In fact, make it gold. Gold. Put in gold, whatever industry you want. Go to search there, put in gold, make it gold, make it gold, make it gold. That should have to Eurodollar. EURUSD. Everyone knows that, don't they? And Eurodollar. Let's wait for it to come through. Give it a moment or two. Quite a lot of information's coming through, and I've got fiber. So if you've got a slow, you might have to wait a few moments. Now you've got some. Why is this not scrolling down? There you go. And then you scroll down, and you go to where is it? Technicals. There you are. See the word technicals? You go to technical analysis. Can you see that? Are you seeing? Well, I've got it on technical analysis. Is that correct? Can you see that? No. Right, I've got a problem. Maybe it's the wrong one then. Why is that? Just give me a second. Stop the share again. Where's it going again? That should do it. Now can you see it? Can you see this Euro USD overview? Can anyone see it? Yes, no? No? Yes, good. Right, just go back again. Okay, you go to the landing page, make sure it's got America there. See that little thing there, American flag? Make sure it's got America. That's the investing.com landing page. Okay, if it doesn't, you click on it and make sure you get the American one up. Right, that would just really do anyone. We'll stick with the American. Put in the euro dollar. It could be anything. I'm using the euro dollar, okay, just for example. Click on that. And then just wait for a second as the stuff comes up. What the hell happened here? Well, never mind, that's come. I don't know why. You click on the euro dollar there. Looks like it's coming right this time. Make sure you get the euro dollar. It should come up there. It's a bit slow. Can you search the website? Anyway, I'm just using that gold or crypto, I suppose you want. Right. Okay. Once you come down to, just scroll down till you come to the chart there. You'll see there technical. All see that? And then you click on technical analysis. It's very simple, so it won't take too long. Scroll down, and you see it says hourly. Put it on there. Put it weekly if you like, but hours far too small, too short term for me. And it'll give you the pivot points. This is what it says by the indicators, moving average 10 indicators. Remember they're lagging, just remember that. Go down a little bit more. And you can, there's different areas of pivot points. Do the classic if you want. And the pivot point is there for the price 108.53. So it's below that area there. So that's 58, that's 53. Well, common sense should say that's not support one because it's dropped below support one. So this now will become resistance one, and that will be a support one because this price here has come back from there to there. So bottom line, it's pulled back a bit there, and that will be your pivot points, which is very, very close, as you can see. It's a bit too close, in my opinion. Probably a better one we look at is maybe this one. They're a bit further apart. But there's very short-term area of support resistance. So you might think that's too close. You might want to then maybe go to a weekly chart, but play around with that. And it's the pivot points are really, the pivot point was the intermediate area between the open and closing of the previous day. And then you'll have the highs and the lows and extrapolated there for a certain short-term resistance and support. So you just go to the technical analysis there, scroll down to instrument of your choice, and then you can sort of see short-term of resistance support if you want. That's all a pivot point area can be used for. It does give you strong buy sell, but they, as I say, lagging indicators. It will give you what indicators are used. These indicators are used, and those are moving averages, exponential, simple. That are used in the calculations to give you over a weekly, monthly, or weekly if you want. Maybe I do a weekly if you like. Get slightly bigger separation, and you can get some information there. Hope that's all clear, because we're going to have to move on to the NAS in a minute. And then we'll, after the NAS and that, we'll have a look at the hedging side if Nick can remind me again. Okay, so I hope you've all got that. Go to the landing page, put in the search the website, the one you want, scroll down to your pivot points, and probably put on the weekly or the daily, check it out. And there you go. All good? Good, fine. So I'm going to move on from that, go back and stop the share. Yeah, you got that, Henry? Yeah, good. Hope everyone's got that. We'll do it again sometime. We'll go back to the charts now. Hope you all see the charts back up here now. But hedging basically, Nick, we'll go into more details. You do a buy and a sell. The problem with that is when you're going to exit one leg of the hedge and you still got costs on both of them, and you get in on the sell there and you're going to buy there. So you sell that, get in on that. Then you immediately go and buy it, getting on that. So you've already got two spreads to contend with. And then when you're going to close it, because once you've hedged, if it goes down, you lose 10 on one and make 10 on the other. Goes up, you lose 10 on one, make 10 on the other. Stop loss and TP, and then you can let it run. It's going to go nowhere, but you've still got those costs, and you of course got the swap fees on both of them now. That's fine, so you hedged it. So if it comes off further and you get the bounce that you want, you can close one at a bit of a profit and let the other one run back up again. But that's the major difficult. When do you close it? You close the hedge, and sometimes as you enter the hedge, it starts going your direction. Now you're hedged, but you're losing on one where you could have been making on the other one. And that's the problem. So I'm a bit iffy on it. I'm hoping down the line we can introduce options. We need to have quite a few things sorted out. We need to be mainly overseas on that one. We are going in certain directions. A bit more complicated, but don't worry about it. You'll get the offering from myself. Where you don't do an equal and opposite hedge, all the costs involved. You just take out a premium. But this just throw this out in a moment. Don't worry about it now. There's a lot of things got to be, a lot of ducks got to be in a row for a look at that. And got to be American. There's American, European, Bermudan. They're no good. It's got to be American, and hopefully shorter term ones. And then once we get that in, we can look at certain ideas where, like buying insurance and motor car, it's just a premium you pay. And if you need to collect on it, if the trade goes wrong, then you're covered with a premium. And if it does go right, well, you'll lose the premium, like use your insurance on your car at the end of the month. Be happy to have it in case something goes wrong. You get the idea. A few ideas coming there. Just don't get excited, got smaller. It's not done well. You need about 20 grand, 25, some of that upwards to make it worth your while. But it'll incentivize people to start putting money in their account because they'll have more areas of basically proper hedging of their positions. They can go in bigger because the last part of that is hedged anyway. So it sounds a bit complicated at the moment, but that offering to do overseas, we call it covered positions. And hopefully down the line, when we're sorted out the various aspects that require sorting out, as we go more bigger overseas, we'll bring that into operation, and that would be a really good and been incentive people to fund it more, a reasonable amount, because you won't be able to hedge on a small accounts anyway. So it's a bit, going back to that, it's a bit, where's the NASDAQ? Sorry, it's a bit iffy. We'll go maybe more detail just now, but it's just basically taking an equal opposite direction. Let's say you want to go on the NAS, you buy, let's say, a micro on the NAS, you sell a micro on the NAS. Don't forget, you've got the spread involved, which is over 10 pips on each of the legs. And then the big question is, the most difficult one, is when do you close one? Because you're not going to know exactly where it is. If we know we'll get to there, we'll close it. I know it's not going to go through. So that often people are stuck in the hedge, don't know when to close it. And then they do, and they wish they hadn't, or they think they do, and they hold a bit longer, and they wish they had got out. It's a normal sort of situation. So I think at the moment, you can look at it if you like. I think it's fairly common sense. We'll buy and sell the same one. But because the costs involved, it's got its okays. I've used it a few times, to be honest. But I think probably just say, I'm wrong. It's hitting the stop loss. That's one of those things, yeah. And get your position size right. using the calculator. You seem to be coming off a bit. Just give it a few moments. So I've got a couple of minutes coming off. How much have been flying for the last couple of minutes? 38 pips. Remember, it's not like Forex. 38 pips in 2 minutes. That's really quiet. I've seen do 100 more in 2 minutes. So you do need to have wide 200 pip stops. And please, guys, don't do the NAS if you've got less than about 5K, because you know you're going to get margin calls on opening. Not this time, maybe, but often you will be, even though you got the right direction to trade, simply because it's extreme volatility. It's not for small accounts. If you do, you might get lucky, but I won't make it happen. It's up to you. Anyway. Right, let's have a look at let's have a look. It's going up a bit. Pity. Right, Apple's starting to disappoint. Okay, Amazon's come off a bit, so we'll see what happens with Apple. Amazon's come off a bit. That's not too bad. What else we've got? Google are out, so no point in I had to stop on the phrase, so we'll leave that. What else? F-stop, EBEF. After F-stop, popped up. See, all over the bloody place. So anyway, it's popped up again. Some guys might have taken profit. I don't know, hold on. But it's popped up. It might come off. GS is still holding down fairly nicely. So that's doing pretty well. Those who took GS are smiling. Okay. Meta. Still hovering a bit, isn't it? And Microsoft, I think most guys are out of Microsoft anyway, so we'll ignore that. So yeah, Tesla we wanted to look at. Is there a particular chance in Tesla? Yeah, it's looking like we might get something on Tesla. It's coming up to these sort of areas here. So keep an eye on that. We might get something on Tesla later on. But I'm not buying until about selling it. Let's just get a confirmation. Yeah. Well, you got it. It's not that complicated. I'll be honest, because it's new and all this jargon mystique that people chuck out worldwide, make people a lot frightened of it. If you cut through all the BS, the jargon, the mystique, BS at the time, and all the huff puff and multisyllabic words, very quite a lot of that. They understand basic common sense. Well, a little bit more, not much. It's not like studying to be a doctor, a lawyer, or a dentist, or whatever. I know. I'm not that clever. If I can let me do it, so can you guys. We can indeed, because oil's going up a little bit at the moment, isn't it? Occidental. Well, technically speaking, it looks like a buy, doesn't it? Hey, man, Marie, it looks like a buy. Just a bit scared, that's all. Just been a bit scared lately. Why am I scared? Probably the wrong word, but I'll use it anyway. It's just like a follow through. I always watch what the big boys do. And how do you know what the big boys do? It's quite simple. It's reflected in the price action. The price action is not getting any follow through. Means the big boys don't know if it's long or short or what's happening. Because they don't know, how are you going to know? So you get on the back of the big boys and they're going back and forth. So, yeah, but technically speaking, that's a buy. Technically speaking, your husband's right. Well, you don't have to be your husband or your wife or anybody. I think most people see it's above the 50. It's open today above the 50. It's also above the 100, above the 200, above the 10. It's open above that. That, technically speaking, is a buy. I sure can, Jackson. A pleasure. Look at this first of all. We'll go to that next. Yeah, so that's the buy. Do you think the oil price is going to stay upwards? If something happens, they open up the taps, oil price comes off. Forget the technicals, that will come off. But if you think there's going to be sustained move up on the oil price, then look at the Oxy as a buy. So technically speaking, yeah. Stop down here. Yeah, make it a $2 stop. May get up to there. 2C, that's not going to cut it. Maybe up to there. $455 TP. I'm a bit iffy on it, to be honest. I think oil's giving me a bit of sort of. We did okay with oil so far, but I think it's a little bit no man land. I might get a 90, 91, 92 and pull back. I don't know. But technically speaking, never mind my worries about the oil. Anyone like to do this one? Remember, guys, you do not use the position size calculator on this. You use the Excel spreadsheet on the LMS. Okay, well, quite simply, put a $2 stop. So OXY dot EP. What's the price? 67.55. SL will be 65.55. TP, we can make it 68.72. Is that right? 72, yeah. 72 on the nail. Risk is obviously too much a share. What's too much? Make it 35 rand a share. Put that in, 72 bucks. That's about right. That's all right. And the stock would be too much below that. $2 US, that is. 65.60 odd. I'm going to make it a bit tighter, a little bit more. 65. Well, I put 65.60 below there. Yeah, about 65.60 should do it, yeah. Let's look at the weekly. That should tell you so much. Well, it's clearly that trend. See, that's fairly obvious. 4 hour, 1 hour, 15 minutes. Pops up, cover you back a bit. I think I'm going to give you a miss, but take your speakers to the trade. Yes, okay. You want to do it? There it is. Your decision. I've got Anna Marie's physical address if it goes wrong. Not mine. Hard luck. Just joking, Anna Marie. The trouble is when you put yourself on the line, all this hate mail you're getting, if it goes wrong. But I can't predict it. So as you say, technically it's okay, but I'm going to give it a miss. That's a brilliant idea. Like the wife asks, why do you marry me? Just say I've got someone to blame if it goes wrong. I'm sure his shoulders are broad, he can take it. Okay, so there, if you want it, there it is. Can't stand my hair's blown back in the moment. Right, Nasdaq still moving. I thought it might move up a bit. The dollar's a little bit of it's a bit stronger, so Nasdaq might be a little bit of back foot coming in, but we shall see. Okay, right. Fair enough. It's there if you want it. Right, Jackson asked a question. ONZDCHF. She understood the hedging, so I won't go back to that. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, NZDCHF should give us some JIP. Why do I want to sell it? Because this area, yeah, it's a downtrend there. We discussed it this morning, and it was holding these levels here, as you can see. It was holding these levels here. Bit of resistance to back out, so there's a couple of readings there. And yeah, so I thought, well, Swiss francs are reasonably, normally stable, fairly stable, strong. I thought range trade, pullback. And we're not out of the woods yet. It's popped up, I get that. But that's trading. It's going to go up and down. You put your calculator up, you work out your risk. If you haven't got a calculator, Jackson, get the one, go to live chat, tech support, and get one on your laptop. Work out what you're prepared to risk, get the right volumes for that risk. So you know what you're risking if it goes wrong as you enter the trade. So before you enter, you know what you're risking. You're comfortable with it, great place to trade. If it goes wrong, you can handle it. And then you just put up the ups and downs. You got your strategy and let it run. How long for, people ask? That's impossible to say. It could be a day, like something can go wrong or go right within a day. Sometimes it might take a couple of days, sometimes longer, depending on the market. That's a variable which is obviously outside of control. That's what makes it a game of skill, is trying to beat the market, basically. And over the last, since November, when I started with the group WhatsApp thing, the posting orders, etc., we are ahead of the market. You might not see we made a couple of bad trades or we just joined. And the first two trades you've taken aren't so good, but you've got to give it a bit of a chance. And over a couple of months so far, going to January, it is, believe it or not, we're ahead of the game. was up about 80%, but that's dropped back a bit to about 65. It's about 2/3. Overall, it should be about 2/3. You get 2 winners, 1 loser. But you could have 6 on the trot, or 6 goodies, or 6 bad. You know, it just depends how it goes. Also, it's like sales. If you close 1 in 3, you might get 3 on the trot and you sell, and 3 on the trot you don't. But you never know which the next one's coming up. Same sort of principle. Ah, 2 minutes later, looks like a sell. Let's see if it holds. Probably come back and testing before it might bump up again. Quickly check the Brent. It's too short a term to say that. I mean, you know, everyone wants to go meet in their direction. It might do, and then come back. Hey, the trade's doing well. Now that it comes back and it goes up and that's the noise. But yeah, and they just did where it is. Anyway, Jackson, going back to yourself there. That's the reason why we looked at it as a sell. Does that make sense to you, or do you disagree with it? That's your opinion. Great to have. This is a forum, guys. Excuse me. This is a forum where everyone can voice their opinion. Are you happy with the explanation? No, it's not. Remember, I mean this. I don't send it out. Some suck. A lot come out of the trading where we discuss it. I've got this idea to go into, I don't know, BAC dot. And then we all look at it and say, a few guys said, I like it. Let's do it. That seems like a good idea. We go with the reasons why. I don't think, oh, well, when I went long last time, this time we'll go short. You know, it's not quite like that. It's a bit more scientific than that. It's 100-day support, you're right. I don't know if you're new to this, Jackson, or brand new, or been trading on a platform before. So, but yeah, stick it out. All I ask when it comes to trade rooms, and I'd operate the platform and have the basics. I'm not going to spend all day explaining what a micro, a million, standard lot size is. And, you know, if those you come in and, yes, I heard the Forex, and now I'm in the trading room, you need a little bit more. And if you can do CFD class, because people confuse the hell out of both of them. They're different. Best way to see what I mean there. This is a CFD. When you see a dot up, it's a CFD. Look at the specifications, and it says its contract size is 1. So it's 1 share is your contract size. So the volume is going to be much higher. If you look at Brent, and you right click, you can see there that the contract size is 100, or 100 times the figure of Brent. What's Brent? $88. So the contract size is 100 times that in US dollars. 500 on silver, 10 on gold. You get the idea. If you go to Forex, it's 100,000. So that's why you go micros and minis on Forex, because it's a big contract size. Contract size or exposure. Yeah, unfortunately, I hadn't hit that, Anne-Marie. That's normal. It's just absolutely normal. As soon as you make your mind up, you enter it, it immediately goes the opposite direction. I've often won on those trades and down the line, but it's almost Murphy's Law. As soon as you go the opposite direction. I think I mentioned it before, just to not bore you too much. This is years ago, over 10 years ago, I think longer, actually, maybe 12 years ago. I can't remember, a long time ago. Well, quite a while ago. And there's some sort of seminar on Forex. So I'll just go and see what's just fun. Yeah, keep yourself up to date. And the guy was there, quite a big one. It was at the what do you call it? Was that one in Moore Street again? Ballylica, that's right. And took the conference from there. And just to show an example, he had a demo up to show just to get the ideas of what's going on. And it went just to find out, it went in the right direction. I remember standing, looking, staring. That's the first time I've ever done that. Argy-bargy on, just went into something, nearly always it goes the wrong way. This actually went the right way. Well, having been a trader, I knew what he meant. I didn't laugh. I think the others might have been a bit bemused. But anyway, yeah, that seems to be Murphy's Law. But now it's bouncing a bit, soon might come back. Some guys might take the CAD JPY. I'd start chicken out of it, but they'd be smiling now, eh? Still think the CHF JPY has got a possibility to get a decent pullback or a breakthrough. So I've got my eye on that, but not at the moment. And that's about it. Is the euro dollar still coming off? Dollar's holding up a bit of strength at the moment, so you might get a bit more pullback. Some guys are in that one. No, it's held on the 1 hour. Anyway, a GBP USD. That has come off a bit, to be fair. It has come over 120 pips today. But how long is that going to last? I'm very wary of that. So yeah, he is not very patient. Well, join me there, Dirk. I'm not either. But I'm a lot better than I used to be, I must admit. A heck of a lot better. But still, it's not my natural way. I want action, man. It's like buying a Ferrari and getting stuck in the traffic jam. It's just quite frustrating. But yeah, there's not much I can add. Gone through the stuff we're in. Can't really add anything new at the moment. And I don't want to get too cute, just in case it comes back and bites. Got cute on Friday. Like, I thought it was the right trade, to be fair. Can get cute. It was the right trade. It came back a bit. And the one this morning wasn't sent out, but Euro AUD was a trade on my idea, and that certainly didn't come to the party at all. Could well come back up again, Mark. Yeah. To me at the moment, what's going to happen from now? I haven't got any scientific view on it. I'm just purely guesswork. Can I give you a decent scientific appraisal? I think the dollar could push up a bit more, but I'm overall still around the dollar until I see some more fundies strengthening it. So yeah, I'm still a little bit wary of chasing it here. To me, it's a bit of a roll of the dice, yeah. So how's the rand doing? Now it's weakening again. So even the dollar dollar strength a bit, to be fair, but the rand's pretty weak. You know, these Moody's and Fitch, these guys have rolled out the interest rate, junk bond guys, forget the word for it now. Getting old, missing these names, yeah. But they're putting more and more pressure on. Saying this energy thing, you've got to get it sorted out, basically. Not just energy, but transport and energy. You can't have a functioning competitive economy if you can't have reliable energy and reliable transport. Common sense. Must admit, it's quite scary the mess they're making of it. Not because they're incompetent, I think just bloody greedy. They might be incompetent. I haven't met them, but I think I don't give a continental I'm being greedy. Or I don't know, who knows? What I do know, it can and should, and they aren't doing it. Actually, I went out on Saturday. I went to see Abbott, by the way, in Montecasino. Interesting. I went for a meal afterwards. Because I was going to have a couple of glasses of wine, etc., I decided to Uber and chat to the taxi driver. And he's saying he's completely, utterly fed up the way they completely mismanaged, because obviously he voted A and C and he had great hopes. He didn't this last one, he said, anyway, that's what he said. But he's very, very, very disillusioned. There's a lot of guys, interesting enough, leaving Escom because they're getting a lot of verbal. I don't know if it was really hit by it, but just getting a lot of, there's so much bad press that people who work there sort of hide the fact. It's like in timeshare, not so bad over here, but in the UK, got a terrible name. So anybody asks what they did for a living, if they sold timeshare, they make up a story. They've never been that. Became synonymous with crook overseas. In fact, there's adverts as you arrive at the airport back in the UK of companies showing how to get out of your timeshares. How bad a name it got. Yeah, so much to add on that. Any question, guys? I've nothing really to add. I haven't got any other trades. We've got a few out. I'm not going to add to it just for the sake of it. If you see one that looks good, I'm very happy. But at the moment, I haven't got anything. I'm just really blowing my hair back. I'm just hoping the NZD-CHF will come right. It's giving me some jip, but it might come right in the end. Gold is, well, I'm not surprised it's come off a bit because the dollar's jumped up over the last 5 hours. Looking at a chance, maybe shorten Tesla, maybe get a 140, I don't know. But I think it's a chance if the NAS pulls back, we can short Tesla. But again, I'm waiting on that. What is the NAS doing? It's still going up? Yeah, it's going up. My weekly analysis, there might be a little bit of a push up on the NAS, but will it get back to 12,000? Another story. But I'm still sell the rally, but leave it alone for the time being. And it's highly risky to buy it at the moment. But if you had on that push up, grab 100 pips, good luck. But it's true. You need sterner stuff than me to do it. But yeah. Will it get to 12,000? I'm not sure about that. Will it? You see what I mean? Will it get back up here? It's about 12,000, somewhere around about there. This morning, a Google short. Who sent you? I certainly didn't. The Google short was sent. I think it was on Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday. The Google short. Don't know who sent that. They shouldn't be sent. If unless it was a repeat of the signal sent, they're not supposed to send, unless it's I've got my signature, not basically supposed to send it. They can copy and paste my signal, but they can't put their own out. Bear that in mind. They're not qualified or regulated to do that. They might have knowledge, but haven't got a piece of paper. Like you might be a great driver. If you haven't got a driving license, you're not allowed to drive. You get the idea. Yeah, well, clearly not at the moment, but no, that was a stopped out signal. We had, well, I think it was on Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday, and unfortunately it stopped out. I won't be chasing it now, no. Old signals, fair enough. Careful of that, because guys are sending out signals to you on their private WhatsApp. They're completely different ones to mine. Not me, I'm not saying, oh, I do mine, but they might be right, might be wrong. But they're not supposed to. They're not regulated. So things you get posted to you, I'll copy and paste on what I have to say. Okay. Just like I say, Pete, old signals. Hey. You got a 131.55. Obviously, Japanese yen of some sort. Probably the pound yen, I guess. That's 160. Dollar yen. Oh, yeah. So you shorted it, did you? Well, you must have done if you're doing all right. 131, right there now. So you must have shorted it. Actually, that came up and I vetoed it. I have to be honest, put my hand up on Friday. Bloody annoyed himself. Thought it might come back a bit still to get a better price. So I vetoed it. And it turned out to be, that would have been a beautiful signal. Would hit the TP. Tesla I like, but I just think we might get a better price. It seems to be on the way up at the moment. So yeah, see that? So when we going against that particular movement, that volume's up at the moment. I'm waiting for it stalls a bit and then we maybe get it to move down. 5 o'clock. I thought it was about 10 o'clock tonight, the load shedding. What's going on here? Must have upped it. Up and change all the time. Checking that. Oh, this is power off at 8. Oh, that's off. Anyway, I'll switch it this now. Okay, so that's about it of what I've got really. So yeah, you guys can come up with something. I'd be very grateful. All of them now. Well, you're on the. That's the trouble. All on the blue one. Most of them in the blue, apart from Google. But the F stop was okay. GS Goldman Sachs, if you took it, is a nice one. Goldman Sachs is a beaut. 53. That's $13 in profit per share. That's a nice one. Microsoft, you call it Misfit. Microsoft. That was a beaut. Meta's now in red, and it was in the blue. Apple was in the blue, now it's in the red. Amazon was nicely in the blue. I think it's just touching the red now. I think got in 96, so it's slightly in the red at the moment. F-stop was in the blue. That's still in the blue, so yeah. Depends which ones you took. Maybe you took the wrong ones, I don't know. But yeah. Then again, it might change. I wouldn't say the Nasdaq's coming. Well, maybe dollars coming off a bit. Look at the yields. Yields start to come off a little bit. Maybe the Nasdaq will start pulling back. Maybe we get a bit of a pullback here. Yeah, it's a bit slow. At least it's in the profit mark. Remember, a lot of shares. It's usually think of it as swing trading a bit slower. I remember the leverage is 20. I mean, Nasdaq's about 4, it's nearly 100 to 105, just under that. So it's far higher leverage. Leverage gives you the speed, and 20 to 1 is pretty low leverage. We got at 1270. Some guys already did it. It was down at 12 or 12. I still think maybe if you can take out 12, then definitely move it down. See, it's only 20 cents away. And you get stopped out, it comes off. That's up to you. I personally probably might reduce it maybe to 13 to 30 or something. I'm still losing it, but reduce the risk. But get to entry now is a bit close, in my opinion. Yeah, we'll see. It's a bit close. It's only 20. How far? It's 10 cents away. I still think this is a bit of a jump in the overall bear market. We have a big recession out there. I'll give an example. Remember, the GDP worldwide is just over 100 trillion. The properties, worldwide value of property, is over 300, about $350 trillion worldwide, that is, as far as the census works out. And obviously quite a number of those are already paid for, we know that, but the majority are on bonds. So they're getting suffering there on house prices as the interest rates worldwide are being increased. So that's going to add a little bit to the pain, if you like. So it might go up a bit more than as, but I'm pretty sure 12,000 will hold, but it might not even get there before we get a pullback. Okay. So in the weekly analysis or snippet I put out, I don't know if you can publish it. I sent to the office, they do their thing, making it all pretty with banners. But I said there could be a bit of up movement. So a bit of dollar weeks could push the NAS up a bit before it comes off. And I'm still going to sell the rally, but the rally's not completed yet. So you're going to unfortunately suffer a little bit on at the moment on some of those tech stocks. And Netflix is doing well, eh? Yeah, come up to resistance. So any pullback, the NAS, I think you might get a pullback there, but we'll have to keep an eye on it. Okay. Yeah, anyone still in that GS? It should have been enough. Maybe some guys didn't take it. That was definitely a trade idea we looked at. Got it at 353. Any guys in there? Because they're flying if they are. So go on about it. We've got it down here. So some guys must have taken it when you've written it down. Pity, then you would have had some very, very deep blue there. And that computer, the deep blue. But yeah, did anyone do the GS or still in it? Oh, maybe not. Shame, because that was a beaut. Microsoft and GS beaut. And who was it brought it up? It wasn't me. It was somebody. That was Henny for sale. Yeah. So I said, wait for a bit of a bounce, we'll sell it, which we did, and did very well. Pretty few guys didn't take it, or not even some guys must have. Maybe they took the pop down there, or maybe they're not on at the moment. Okay, what's your Oxy doing? Starting to move back up again, eh? Just a quick search at the moment. Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola. That's pattern to break through. That's not part of the NAS, obviously. That's part of it. So big, it's part of the Dow and the S&P. That's looking like, technically speaking, looks like that's just holding. Doesn't seem to get any legs to break through. I think there's the possibility of something coming up here. What's the S&P doing on the Dow? The S&P first, closer. That's, remember, that's gone back up again. Might be looking for a short just now. Dow, what's the Dow doing? Coca-Cola might be a better bet. Bit of resistance here. See that? Look, weekly, daily resistance here as well. Four-hourly. A few sellers coming in. Doesn't look too bad, does it? Very sugary, bad for you. Maybe less people drink it, eh? Groeneveen and Cook. Spook and Diesel. That's Cane and Coke. Anyway, what do you think, guys? I think it's possible to have a bit of a short here. So I quite like it. More look at it. We've looked at the different time zones. I quite like this one. The others have popped up, but this hasn't. This is held a negative, like Goldman Sachs held a negative. I think we've got a possibility here. Stop up there. Maybe it's a bit tight, but maybe it's slightly wider. Where's the TP down there? It's not good at it. Maybe down there. I think it's a possibility here. What do you reckon? That's true, Mark. Yeah. Yeah, I'm afraid to say it, whether you like it or not. Murphy's Law is a big part of trading, isn't it? Yeah, anyone like the look of this one or not too keen? I see a short here. The other one's a jump, but this one hasn't maintained any. So in a stronger momentary market, it's still been fairly weak. When it comes back off again, it should be one of the first leaders on the way down in theory. So I quite like this. Anybody agree? Well, here's the sound of silence. Well, yeah, all right, Shuji, I like your faith. Not too much pressure, but I'm definitely keen, yeah. I can take it. My skinny shoulders are broad. Okay, well, let's have a look then. Where we can put the stop. So what you want to do. Maybe a little bit wider. Maybe $1 stop. And then down here, that's not going to work. Maybe a tighter stop then. Something like that, yeah. 60.79. That's quite a bit down. £10 a share is your risk. So if you like it, we'll do it. Okay. KO stop. Don't forget the full stop. Sell EP market 6014, call it, or 15 or whatever, somewhere around about there. SL 6080. TP 58.80, and risk is around 10 Rand or 65 cents dollars a share. Anyone like the look of that one? Eugene likes it. Come on, you trading Rambo Marines. Oh. If you don't join this one, I'll just tell the guys at the rugby club, you're beta males. Okay, right. I'm just going to see if I like that there. I'm just going to push that through there. Just remember, I can't. After all that, it's 5 o'clock. They don't like sending signals out at 5 o'clock. There's too many guys on the road, and then don't have a car crash. They'll all feverishly try to put in the KO share. So maybe we'll have a look at it again tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, it's just not so good when you see that red color. Yeah, probably maybe stand back and see if the red's can turn to blue. Okay, fair enough. But we'll see. I've got it written down to see how it goes. Okay, Anne-Marie, hope those reds, they get that shot in trade. Hope those reds turn to blue later. Maybe we'll get a bit of a pull back of them now. It's not exactly at the moment we might have. But we'll see. Okay, cheers now. Grab you tomorrow, that's great. I'm on a bit of a standstill here. Notice it's still going up. Bloody hell. Apple's still going up. Yeah, Amazon. Amazon's coming back a bit. You might rescue on Amazon. That was doing well the other day. Apple's not looking pretty, but forget what the stop is, but yeah. GS knows in it, so I'll leave GS. Pity, that was a brilliant one. I think we're all out of Microsoft. F stop. Yeah, looks like it's prancing up, but let it run. It might come back off again. Google out, don't worry about it. NZDCHF. trying to come back off again. It's hovering at the moment. Gold is, I think it's coming off a bit, unfortunately. Doing well this morning. But anyway, 1905 is a stop. Just hope doesn't get there. Let's move back up again now. Oh, anyway, I think just leave it, guys. I don't think let's get too cute. So it's late afternoon. If you find something later on, we'll have a look at it tomorrow morning. I don't think I want to get too cute. Too many reds to say. You're all out the blues, look at it that way. Comes off, we get another opportunity for S&P as well. Tesla's coming off a bit now, so maybe we'll look at that. I think we'll wait till tomorrow on Tesla and see if we can get a short on that. Yeah, well, we'll see on. It's running out a bit of steam, is it, for your short? Yeah. Now, I think, Nick, better tomorrow. I second that. Oh, you went long now, really ill. You're a bit of a scalper, my friend. I haven't really got anything off it. I'm thinking of actually even closing up. They're not really waffling around talking nonsense, and I might come up with something just to push it. I've done that before. Don't mind taking the show there. I won't be responsible here. Unless you've got any questions on some of the outstanding basics that you want clarified on, I don't mind. Far from it. I quite enjoy explaining that to you guys. I want you to become good. But yeah. Quite period size, you've got to say step aside and wait for the better ones. So not traders don't trade much anyway. It's been bullish for a while, mainly because we had a weaker dollar, but so there could be a bit of a bounce in the dollar before it comes back off again. Yeah, but if she's been hawkish, she's not changing on that. Yeah, there's much choice in the matter. Okay, Eulin, anybody else? Georgina, anybody not sure about something? Want to ask any questions before we wrap it up? Find out why I've got load shedding. It's supposed to come at 8, not now. As long as you got your position size right, Mark, it's not nice to lose, but as long as you never do it. Oh, is that right? Well, I don't know. It's supposed to be an updated app. Anything else, guys, or should we wrap it up and go start again tomorrow? Don't get me wrong, I'm keen enough to stay if you guys are, but I don't want to stay to waffle. Start again tomorrow. It's going to be some sort of practical adding value. Not sure you want me to talk about bloody tennis or rugby or bloody cricket or something. Okay, Nick. All right, guys. Brady and all the others, finally, maybe we get some stuff going tomorrow. I hope I answered about the hedging there, Nick. I think you said it was okay. Anything else you think of, write it down. You can always WhatsApp me. If I can't explain the WhatsApp, we'll go through more detail in the trading room, anything like that. Don't forget, please, anybody forgot to do it, don't forget to save your charts. Please save your template. Put your name in, don't forget that. We don't want you losing the charts, okay? Save it. So that when you do lose your charts, for whatever reason, it can happen, all you do is go to your template, save, click on it, and you're way back up and running. Okay, so don't forget to do that, okay? If you want to change the configuration, quite simple, right click, go to properties and change the configuration the way you like. And there's the example. And then okay, and then save it. Different areas, you can put save one with an RSI, save one with a MACD, save. Do that as well. Okay, guys, so right, catch you tomorrow. Thanks very much and catch you tomorrow.